Alright guys, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. It is 5:38 p.m. New York time. And just want to make a quick video here regarding the Kiwi and what happened this afternoon with that. And I just wanted to just point out a couple of things. So, as expected, the Kiwi dollar, they did not change their rate. They were expecting for rates to stay the same, which they did. And I'm trying to see if I can pull up the calendar here. Sorry about that. Anyways, they were expecting to keep the rates changed at 1.75, which they did indeed do. And if you scroll, it's right here, official cash rate 1.75. That's what expected. So they left it on hold. Okay. So as usual, when that happens, the statement is more of the important piece. And if you go to Forex Live or any of these sites that give you Forex news, go to Forex Live here. This is a good one. You'll see there's a lot of entries on here right now regarding the Kiwi rate decision, and it was a very dovish statement. Considering how strong, I mean, we got that positive Kiwi news the other day on the inflation numbers, but the RBNZ basically, as you can see right here in this paragraph, basically they said that they were iterating that there's still a lot of global uncertainties and that policy needs to adjust accordingly. They said right here, a decline in the exchange rate is needed. Okay, and they also said that, not in this statement, but another one that I had read when it came out, that they were concerned that the Kiwi had appreciated much too quickly for them. And so, of course, they're basically signaling that they don't like the fact that they've seen such a strong move up in the Kiwi lately. So it was definitely a dovish tone, and so that kind of confirmed what I saw on the charts leading into it. And if you look at the Kiwi dollar, so this was heading into the news here. So obviously this is the daily chart. The news came out, I guess, right about here. Nope. During this candle right here. This is when the news came out. I basically, on the Kiwi dollar, I basically see essentially a 5-wave trend completed here, and somewhere in here I can see 5 waves. And the other thing is, the CCI had divergence. We hit this new high, but the CCI was pointing down, and so I felt that the Kiwi dollar definitely was going to go down, which it did. Kiwi Swiss definitely went down, and again on the Kiwi Swiss, I had this labeled previously as a 5-wave trend, and sure enough, I did get in. I actually got in prior to the news, and so this was the candle on the 12-hour chart where the news came out right about here, and I'll show you on my live account in a second. But this is where there was a clear trend right here that ended from an Elliott Wave standpoint. Wave 1 and Wave 5 were virtually identical. On this Wave 1 we had about 140 so pips to the upside. Wave 5, which generally is about the same length as Wave 1, it doesn't have to be, that's not a hard rule, but if you measure this one, it's also 140 pips. So that's a very key sign to me that that trend has run its course. And so I also took the Kiwi Swiss short. Also, looking at this pair on a higher time frame, this is the weekly chart. You theoretically could label 5 waves here too. Now I'm not sure if this is 5 waves, but I could possibly label this whole move up on the weekly chart as a wave 4. A 5-wave pattern. And this is what an Elliott wave would be called an ending diagonal, where you have 5 waves overlapping at the top. This means ending diagonal. Now, if this is an ending diagonal, the general rule is that the move could entirely retrace the entire move up. So now that's pretty aggressive, because if this is a weekly chart, if this retraced the entire move up, that's more than 1,500 pips, and this is not a big pip-rich pair either. So, but at the very least, I would expect that this will come back to the beginning of the wave 5, which would be right here at this plus sign of this red candle right here. This is the wave 5. So I would expect it would come back to there, which is 467 pips. That's going to be probably my minimum target, is back to here. And especially, you know, they're talking about basically saying that they are going to cut rates again at some point. And so if the market keeps that dovish undertoning, the Kiwi from a fundamental standpoint has been moving more to the neutral to slightly bullish stance. This I think shifts it more back towards the bearish underpinning. And so if that view continues, and especially if the next time they meet to talk about rates they're going to cut at some point, then we're definitely going to see the Kiwi return to its bearish ways. And so so again, I can see a 5-wave pattern on the weekly chart, and I can certainly see it on the 12-hour and in the day, not so much on the daily. It's not as clear, but sorry about that, guys. That's my news feed speaking there. So let me just close that. Yeah. So this is. This one was obvious. Why this will not close? It's really annoying me. Hold on, guys. So yeah, like I said, guys, the longer term on the Kiwi, may turn back down again. So I would definitely keep an eye on things in terms of where it's going to go long term, because I do think that that news was really bearish today. And so the last one I wanted to look at was the Euro Kiwi, and again, of course, this is just the opposite. And so I went long before the news came out, and again, I'll show you my live chart. But on this pair, if you zoom out a little bit, you go all the way out here to the weekly. We had this strong move up, and then we've been moving down in this wedge formation here. This falling wedge, and again, you could look at this basically as potentially a 5-wave pattern, but either way, what happened is we came back down to the bottom of this channel, and we bounced right off. And if you go to a lower time frame and you look at this last move down, actually, let me see here, see if I can find it. Okay, so you can kind of see it here on the 12-hour. So I'm looking at this whole move down here as a perfect wave 5-wave pattern down, and then we completed the 5-wave pattern. This came down and tested this trend line, and then the news comes out and it shoots back the other way. Now again, where this is going to go longer term, if the Kiwi is fundamentally going to be pinned negative now, and then this pair is going to rally. Of course, this is the euro, so we have to keep that in mind. The euro is a weak currency too, but I think at the very least we get back to the top of this trend channel, which is 360 pips. I think we probably will get back there, and then maybe we'll see a correction, and then if the Kiwi continues its bearish ways, we'll break out of this and head back higher on this pair. And again, this pattern suggests that at some point this is going to break back out of here, because we had this strong move up, and you've seen so this is a weekly chart, so this took 15 weeks for it to go this far. So it took about 4 months for it to go this far. And if you look at this correction, this has taken 70 weeks, 69 weeks, 68 weeks, and it didn't even get as far. Okay, so this is definitely the impulsive move from a Fibonacci standpoint. Let's take a look. I didn't even look at this. So we're right around the 78.6 retracement on the Fibonacci. So that's something else I would look at. And for a third thing, again, we made a new low, yet the CCI indicator was diverging here. So everything kind of lined up. We had a pattern going into this that was complete. We had the lower trend line that's being tested. We had the 78.6 retracement level. We had very bearish or dovish comments from the RBNZ. And so all those things put together, you know, we had divergence on the CCI, we had all those things together has led us to this move up. And so, you know, obviously I didn't know what the news was going to be, but based on the patterns, I figured it was going to be dovish, and it was. And so just go back to my, this is my live account. And so here's where I got in before the news came out. Obviously this candle was the news, or this one, I'm not sure. And I had gotten in here, and obviously back here would have been better, but I've been traveling this week, so honestly I haven't really been paying much attention. And so, you know, because this low hit here was, you know, a couple of days ago, and, you know, like I said, I've been traveling. I'm still traveling, so I haven't been watching as closely. Otherwise, I probably would have taken a long here. But anyways, I got in here before it broke out, and you can see it's still going. I do have a take profit set up here at this red line. You know, I may take that off. I think that's going to conclude, you know, a very short initial wave up, because to me this looks like possibly a 1, 2, 3. I think we'll correct again. We'll go back up and tag this, and then we'll see a correction. But again, because I'm not going to be able to really watch this closely, I probably will just take what I can get, and then I'll watch for a correction, and I'll get back in. But I do think this will go much further than just this take profit line. I only have it set because of my situation at the moment. So Kiwi Swiss, this is obviously the opposite. This is where I got in short right here at the green line just before the news came out, and you can see we've rocketed back down since then. And I don't have a take profit set on this one right now. This is the one where we're looking at the possibility of this being an ending diagonal. And you can see it here on the weekly chart. I showed you this before. You know, we have a strong area of resistance up here, and we have what looks to me like a 5-wave pattern with an ending diagonal, you know, which preceded a strong move down, and this definitely looks corrected. We have divergence on the CCI indicator as this price went up. You saw the CCI diverging, okay, right here. You have this diverging, you know, yet we were making new highs in price, and so that's another bearish sign. And Kiwi dollar, again, same story here. I got in short right there at the green line, and you know, we're proceeding down to the downside here. And like I said, on the Kiwi dollar, this looks very similar to the Kiwi Swiss, where we had this move up. You could basically call this probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, the minimum target on this, you know, would be so anyways, guys, like I said, this one probably will get down at a very bare minimum to here, and potentially will retrace this whole move down. And again, we had divergence on this pair as well. You know, we had the market make new highs leading up to this. You know, we had these new highs being made, and yet the CCI diverged. And again, I don't use the CCI except for anything for just some confirmation. Certainly, it's not my main tool, but you know, I do use it for some confluence. So, anyways, guys, it's just another quick reminder about not only how the fundamentals played into this. Obviously, the move was confirmed by the dovish comments, but leading up to that, the pattern suggested that it wouldn't be good for the Kiwi, and so that was an example where I traded into the event, and I felt it was a worthwhile risk to get into the trade ahead of time. If I was wrong, oh well, I would have gotten stopped out or taken out, and that's fine. But the pattern suggested otherwise. It turned out to be correct, and the fundamental picture, and due to the comments from the RBNZ, certainly confirmed that. So again, guys, very, very important that when people say that the news doesn't matter and it's already priced into the market and you can ignore it, that's complete BS. All right, you got to know what's going on. You have to at least have a clue, because otherwise, you know what, you see this kind of stuff, and maybe you're just a pattern trader, but you don't know, and you know, if you're not at least aware of something coming out, you get caught off guard, you know, because you're just looking at patterns, and again, you're only looking at half the picture, and so it's really important. So just want to make that video, guys. I hope some of you were able to get into these positions, and I think you'll be able to hold on to them for a while, depending what your tolerance level is for you know, corrective moves. But I have a feeling this will be going down for a while. on the Kiwi. So anyways, guys, that's it. I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Any comments, questions, let me know.